Honorable Speaker, Sir, esteemed members of Parliament, I rise this evening in accordance with Standing Order 199 to table before this House the first report on the status of implementation of the Constitution by 3 constitutional commissions, namely the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the National Land Commission, and the National Gender and Equality Commission. This report is a product of the committee's deliberations with these institutions held between the months of February and April 2024, and it provides a comprehensive overview of their operations, achievements, and the persistent challenges they face in executing their mandates as envisaged under Chapter 15 of the Constitution. The Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, established under Paragraph 4 of the 6th Schedule to the Constitution, bears the responsibility of overseeing constitutional implementation. This report represents our committee's assessment of how these vital institutions are discharging their constitutional mandates and the impediments they face. Honorable Speaker, the core functions of Chapter 15 constitutions, or the independent commissions and independent offices, those of the Auditor General and Controller of Budget, is essentially oversight of government. It is envisaged that these commissions will be independent, impartial, and very specialized in their technical nature. And the core objectives are that they ensure compliance with the Constitution, promote accountability, safeguard democratic principles, maintain the rule of law, and oversee the enforcement of national values and ethics. From our engagements with the commissions, it is clear that despite facing immense structural and financial constraints, these institutions have continued to contribute meaningfully to the implementation of the Constitution. The commissions have provided vital oversight in areas such as land governance, gender equality, protection of special interest groups, and the defense of fundamental human rights and freedoms. Their interventions have informed legislation, shaped national policy, held state institutions accountable, and given notice to the often unheard and unseen segments of our society. Honorable Speaker, fellow members, while these successes are commendable, they are frequently achieved under conditions that no institution constitutionally tasked with such weighty responsibilities should be subjected to. What emerges consistently from our findings is that constitutional commissions in this country operate under a common cloud of underfunding, limited staffing, and insufficient institutional support. These challenges are not just administrative inconveniences, they are constitutional impediments. Despite the constitutional guarantee under Article 249, Sub-Article 3, that each commission shall receive adequate and distinct funding from Parliament to enable it to discharge its mandate, these institutions are persistently under-resourced. Their budgets are often collapsed within the executive sectoral working groups, forcing them to compete with ministries for limited fiscal space. This arrangement not only undermines their independence, but also violates the spirit and letter of the Constitution, which intended these bodies to act as counterweights and not appendages of the executive. Another area of serious concern, Honorable Speaker, is the attempt to merge constitutional commissions, such as the National Gender and Equality Commission and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, with statutory bodies like the National Commission on NCIC, without adequate public participation or constitutional compliance. Such proposals, particularly as contained in the recommendation of the National Dialogue Committee, the NADCO report, risk undoing the gains made in promoting equality, inclusion, and social justice. They disregard the constitutional distinctions between commissions created under Chapter 15 and those established by statute. Honorable Speaker, I think the country has witnessed an attempt by the executive to channel compensation for victims of demonstrations through a body established by executive order. This is already the subject of court cases, and we will not, under the sub judice rule, go into it, but you can see the challenges. Honorable Speaker, with respect to the 2/3 gender rule, we would like to draw...
Honorable Caroli, you are one of our best articulate members of Parliament. As you go through the script reading, our standing orders encourage as much as possible that you speak to those things and paraphrase them.
Further compounding this issue is the persistent failure to debate and act upon the annual reports submitted by these institutions, as required under Article 254, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution. These reports are meant to inform policy direction, legislative reform, and institutional accountability. Their dormancy in parliamentary shelves is not just a missed opportunity, it is a dereliction of duty that erodes public confidence in constitutional oversight. Honorable members, let me also highlight that the lapse of constitutional timelines for the review of electoral boundaries by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, as provided in Article 89, have created a looming constitutional crisis. The commissions we engaged have raised red flags about this vacuum, noting the potential legal and political consequences of delaying this vital process. Parliament must move with speed to address this situation, failing which we risk undermining the very foundation of representative democracy. This report also lays bare how inclusion and rights of special interest groups remain under threat due to poor prioritization and chronic budgetary neglect to the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Whether it is the rights of persons with disabilities, intersex persons, women, or marginalized communities, the story remains the same. Lack of political will, goodwill, insufficient resources, and low compliance with existing legal frameworks. This is not just a policy failure, it is a constitutional betrayal. If we are to live up to the vision of the 2010 Constitution, we must place equality, non-discrimination, and inclusion at the very heart of our national development agenda. This report is therefore a clarion call to this House to reaffirm its role as the primary defender of constitutionalism. It calls on us to act by reviewing our standing orders to ensure these commissions present their budgets directly to CIOC for scrutiny, by ensuring their reports are scheduled for debate at the beginning of every session, and by ring-fencing their funding as per the constitutional requirement. It is time to stop treating Chapter 15 commissions as peripheral to our governance framework. They are central pillars in the architecture of our democratic state, and on behalf of the committee, I wish to express sincere gratitude to the leadership and staff of the three commissions for their honest and illuminating submissions. I also thank members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker, the Clerk of the National Assembly, and the Secretariat for their dedication in the preparation of this report. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I hereby lay this report on the table of the House and urge this Honorable House to adopt its recommendations in full, and in so doing, to renew our collective commitment to the faithful implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. With those remarks, I request the distinguished Honorable Member, Geoffrey Mulanya, to second